If you're over 60 and no matter what you try, your belly fat just won't budge, stop scrolling and listen to this. Because the problem isn't your age, your willpower, or your metabolism. The real issue is that you've been doing the wrong type of exercise, one that actually makes belly fat harder to lose. But there's one simple movement, something you're already capable of doing, that melts belly fat faster and safer than crunches, cardio machines, or high-intensity workouts. And thousands of people over 60 are already seeing results in as little as 30 days. If you want a flatter belly, more energy, and a routine your body will thank you for, stay with me because this could be the turning point you've been looking for. If you're over 60 and you've been trying to lose that stubborn belly fat, but nothing seems to work anymore, listen closely because what I'm about to share might just be the missing piece you've been searching for. Most people think they need to spend hours doing crunches, sit-ups, or high-intensity workouts that feel more like punishment than exercise. But what if I told you that the number one exercise to melt belly fat after 60 requires no gym membership, no extreme impact on your joints, no fancy equipment, and you can start doing it today without feeling like you're training for the Olympics? And what if I also told you that thousands of people over 60 are already seeing noticeable changes in their waistline within just 30 days of doing this consistently? Now, before you think I'm exaggerating, stick with me, because by the end of this video, you're going to understand exactly why this exercise works so well for people in their 60s, 70s, and beyond, and how you can start using it to shrink your waist, boost your energy, and feel stronger and lighter than you have in years. And the best part? You're probably already capable of doing it. You just haven't been doing it the right way or consistently enough to actually see results. So here it is. The number one exercise to melt belly fat after 60 is walking. Yes, walking. But I'm not talking about casual strolling, wandering around the grocery store, or walking from your car to the front door. I'm talking about intentional walking, daily walking, strategic walking, the kind of walking that actually turns your body into a fat-burning machine, especially in the midsection where most people over 60 tend to store extra fat. And the reason walking works so incredibly well, especially for people in this age group, has nothing to do with hype. It's all physiology. It has everything to do with how your body changes as you age and how walking taps into exactly what your metabolism needs in order to burn fat efficiently. You see, once you get past 60, your hormone levels shift, your metabolism slows down, and your muscle mass naturally decreases if you're not doing anything to maintain it. When muscle mass goes down, your body simply burns fewer calories even when you're resting. That means that the same foods you ate 10 years ago may now lead to weight gain, even if you feel like you're not eating any differently. Your body becomes more insulin resistant, your cortisol levels tend to rise more easily, and you store more fat around the belly. That's why so many people over 60 say, "I'm doing everything I used to do, but the fat isn't budging." It's not your fault. It's biology. But this is exactly why walking is so powerful, because it works with your biology instead of against it. When you walk at the right pace for the right amount of time, and consistently enough, you tap into the exact fat-burning zone that your body actually responds to. High-intensity workouts spike cortisol, which can make belly fat worse after 60. Crunches and core workouts strengthen muscles, but they don't burn fat directly. But walking lowers cortisol, improves insulin sensitivity, increases the mobility of your hips and spine, engages your deep core muscles, enhances your circulation, and gently boosts your metabolism in a way your body can sustain, not just for a week, but long term. That's why I always say walking isn't just physical activity. It's metabolic therapy. And here's the part people overlook. Walking works best not because it burns a huge number of calories instantly, but because it retrains your metabolism over time. And that's exactly why 30 days is such a game changer. Most people start walking for 3 days, don't see a big difference on the scale, and give up. But belly fat, especially the kind that forms around the organs and becomes harder to lose, responds more slowly. The first changes happen internally before you even notice them on the outside. Around the 10-day mark, your blood sugar becomes more stable. Around the 14-day mark, your cortisol levels begin to drop more consistently. Around the 20-day mark, your metabolism becomes more efficient at using stored fat as fuel. And around the 30-day mark is when you start seeing the visible difference. Your waist feels looser, your clothes fit better, and that hard, Stubborn fat begins to soften and shrink. But here's the key. It has to be the right kind of walking. Most people walk too slow, too inconsistently, or for too short of a time to see results. If you want to melt belly fat, your walk needs to be intentional. That means your heart rate needs to be elevated, but not so high that you're gasping for air. Think of it as a pace where you can still hold conversation, but you're a little breathier than usual. That's your fat burning zone. That's where the magic happens. If you're walking so slowly that it feels effortless, you're not going to see significant change. And if you're pushing so hard that you have to stop every few minutes, you're triggering stress hormones rather than fat loss. That middle zone is where transformation happens. Now let's talk about how you can structure your walks to truly melt belly fat over the next 30 days. And remember, this isn't boot camp. In fact, you might be surprised at how doable this is. Aim to walk at least 20 to 30 minutes every single day for the first week. You can break this up into 2 shorter walks if it feels easier. The most important part is consistency. By week 2, try to increase your walk to 30 to 35 minutes. By week 3, aim for 40 to 45 minutes. And by week 4, if you're feeling good, try to hit 45 to 60 minutes. You do not have to go fast. You do not have to jog. You do not have to power walk like you're in a race. Just a steady, intentional pace that raises your heart rate slightly and keeps you moving. And let's talk about form, because walking isn't just moving your legs. There's a technique to it that makes a huge difference, especially for belly fat. When you walk, I want you to engage your core, not by sucking your stomach in, but by gently bracing it as if someone is about to poke you in the belly. Keep your posture tall, shoulders relaxed, arms swinging naturally. When you swing your arms, you activate more muscles through your torso, which helps strengthen and tighten your midsection with every step. Don't shuffle. Don't lean forward. Don't look down at your feet. The whole time, walk tall, walk proud, and let your body do the work it was built to do. Now, here's something people don't realize. Walking is one of the best exercises for reducing visceral fat, the dangerous fat around your organs that increases your risk of diabetes, heart disease, and inflammation. Visceral fat is stubborn, but the type of slow, moderate-intensity exercise that walking provides is one of the only forms of exercise proven to target it effectively, especially for people over 60. When visceral fat decreases, your waist shrinks, your belly gets flatter, your energy rises, your inflammation decreases, your sleep improves, and your body becomes better at regulating hormones like insulin and cortisol, which means fat storage around the belly naturally goes down. That's why walking doesn't just help you lose weight. Walking restores your metabolism. And I know some of you are thinking, but I already walk. I walk all the time. Why haven't I lost belly fat yet? And that is a great question. Here's the truth. Casual walking is not the same as intentional walking. Walking around the house is not the same as walking with purpose. Slow, inconsistent walking isn't enough to trigger the biochemical changes your body needs to burn stored fat. You have to walk with intention, duration, and consistency. Even just 1 month of intentional walking can do more for your waistline than a whole year of casual movement. Now, let's talk about something just as important as the walk itself: lifestyle alignment. If you're walking regularly but still struggling with belly fat, you might be unknowingly sabotaging your progress with a few common habits. Sleep is a big one. When you don't get enough sleep, your cortisol levels spike and your body holds on to fat, especially around the belly. Hydration is another one. Most people over 60 are chronically dehydrated, and dehydration slows fat metabolism. So if you're walking every day, make sure you're drinking water before and after your walk. Nutrition also plays a role, and no, you do not have to diet or starve yourself. But being aware of processed foods, sugary drinks, and late-night snacking can make your results come faster and easier. One thing I recommend before your walk is a light warm-up. Something as simple as marching in place, leg swings, or gentle hip circles for about 1 minute. After your walk, stretch your hamstrings, calves, and hips to keep your joints loose and flexible. This helps prevent injury and keeps your body feeling energized rather than exhausted. Now, some of you might be thinking, can I still lose belly fat even if I have arthritis or bad knees? And the answer is yes. In fact, walking is one of the safest and most effective exercises for people with joint stiffness or arthritis because it increases blood flow to your joints, helps lubricate them, and actually reduces pain over time. Start with shorter walks if needed. Walk on softer surfaces if that feels better. And remember, slow progress is still progress. You don't need to push through pain. Just keep moving. Let me tell you a secret that most people over 60 never hear. Your body is still capable of changing. Your metabolism is still capable of transforming. Your belly fat is not permanent. You just have to give your body the right inputs, consistently, and it will respond. This isn't about being perfect. This isn't about being fast. This isn't about keeping up with anyone else. This is about showing up for yourself every day in a way your body can sustain. Walking is not extreme. Walking is not complicated. Walking is not intimidating. But walking is powerful. It is accessible. It is sustainable. And when done intentionally, it is transformative. One of my favorite things about walking is that it becomes not just exercise, but meditation. It reduces stress. It clears your mind. It lifts your mood. It improves your mental health in ways that directly support fat loss. Because when your stress levels drop, your body stops clinging to stored fat. So when you walk every day, you're not only burning calories, you're lowering stress hormones that are directly linked to belly fat. That's why so many people who walk consistently say, I feel lighter, not just physically, but mentally. And that lightness shows in their body over time. If you stick with walking for 30 days, intentionally and consistently, you will not just see changes. You will feel them. You will feel your hips loosening. You will feel your core engaging more naturally. You will feel your breathing improve. You will feel your endurance increase. And yes, you will begin to see that stubborn belly fat soften, shrink, and melt away week by week. And here's the best part. Walking creates momentum. Once your energy rises, you naturally begin making better choices throughout the day. You drink more water. You sleep better. You snack less because you feel more balanced. Your digestion improves. Your confidence grows. That's what leads to long-term fat loss, especially after 60. Not intensity, not deprivation, not punishment, consistency. So if you're ready to make a real change, not a temporary one, start with walking. Commit to 30 days. Not because you're trying to be perfect, but because you're ready to feel better in your body. You're ready to reclaim your energy. You're ready to shrink your waistline and improve your health at the same time. You're ready to take a step, literally, toward a stronger, fitter, healthier you. And here's your challenge. Starting today, commit to intentional walking every day for the next 30 days. Whether it's morning, afternoon, or evening doesn't matter. What matters is that you show up. Day after day, step after step. Walk with purpose. Walk with intention. Walk with belief that your body is not done transforming. When I say intentional walking is the number one exercise to melt belly fat after 60, I'm talking about a very specific kind of movement that most people think they're doing, but they're actually not. Casual walking, drifting from room to room, or wandering slowly through the grocery store does not trigger the physiological response your body needs in order to start burning stored fat, especially around the belly. Intentional walking is different because it places your body in a controlled, sustainable fat-burning state without overwhelming your joints or raising your stress hormones. This matters even more as you get older because the body becomes more sensitive to stress, more resistant to insulin, and naturally loses muscle unless you actively do something to stimulate it. When you walk with intention, your pace becomes deliberate. You're not rushing or sprinting, but you're also not strolling. You're walking at a speed where you feel your heart rate rise just enough that you can still talk, but with a slightly breathier tone. That's the sweet spot for fat loss after 60 because it targets the aerobic zone where your body is most efficient at using stored fat as energy. This pace helps stabilize your blood sugar, which reduces the amount of fat your body stores afterward. It also lowers cortisol, your main stress hormone, which is directly linked to belly fat accumulation in people over 60. When cortisol is high, your body holds onto fat around the midsection as a protective mechanism. Intentional walking helps reverse that pattern. What makes this type of walking particularly powerful is that it teaches your body consistency. Unlike high-intensity workouts that you might only be able to handle twice a week, intentional walking can be done daily because it doesn't shock your system. Your joints stay safe, your muscles stay engaged, and your heart stays active without feeling strained. This frequency is what makes belly fat start to shift. The body thrives on repetition and routine, and when you get a steady, moderate challenge every single day, it begins using energy more efficiently. Over time, this type of walking activates your deep core muscles, the muscles that stabilize your spine and support your posture, which naturally leads to a tighter, more toned midsection. Even though you're not doing crunches, your core is working with every step, especially when you swing your arms and maintain good posture. Intentional walking also improves your circulation, which helps reduce inflammation. Inflammation plays a major role in belly fat storage, so reducing it allows your body to let go of fat more easily. Another key factor is that this kind of walking boosts your overall metabolism. Many people over 60 struggle with a slower metabolism due to muscle loss and hormonal shifts, but regular intentional walking sparks metabolic activity in a gentle but powerful way. The more you walk with intention, the better your body becomes at burning calories, not only during the walk, but throughout the day. This helps create a long-term fat-burning environment in your body. Over time, intentional walking transforms from a simple activity into a metabolic habit that supports fat loss naturally. It becomes easier, feels better, and starts delivering results that casual walking never could. When you understand how the body changes after 60, it becomes clear why walking works so effectively with your natural biology instead of fighting against it. As you get older, several internal shifts happen that make fat loss feel more difficult, especially around the belly. Hormones begin to decline, including those responsible for regulating metabolism and maintaining lean muscle mass. Muscle naturally decreases if you're not doing anything to actively use it. And because muscle is one of the key drivers of metabolic speed, losing it means your body burns fewer calories even when you're resting. At the same time, insulin sensitivity decreases with age, which means your body has a harder time processing sugar efficiently. When insulin levels stay elevated, the body stores more fat, primarily in the midsection. And on top of that, cortisol, your stress hormone, tend to rise more easily and stay elevated longer, which sends a signal to your body to protect itself by storing fat around the belly. All of these changes happen naturally, and none of them are your fault. They're simply the way the body adapts over time, but they also explain why traditional exercise approaches, especially high-intensity workouts, often backfire after 60. The beauty of walking is that it works in harmony with these biological shifts rather than pushing your system too hard. Walking at a moderate, intentional pace helps control cortisol instead of spiking it. High-intensity workouts often raise cortisol dramatically, and although that can be useful for younger bodies, elevated cortisol in someone over 60 can lead to increased belly fat instead of reducing it. Walking, on the other hand, has been shown to ease stress, stabilize cortisol, and create a calm metabolic environment where fat loss can actually happen. This is one of the main reasons walking is so effective at targeting stubborn belly fat in older adults. It doesn't send mixed signals. It keeps your body in a safe and steady state where fat can be used as energy instead of stored. Walking also helps improve insulin sensitivity over time. Each time you walk, your muscles pull glucose from your bloodstream to use for energy. This helps lower your blood sugar naturally and keeps insulin levels from staying elevated. When insulin becomes more balanced, the body starts shifting away from storing fat and toward burning it, especially in areas where fat tends to accumulate as you age. Regular walking teaches the body to manage sugar more efficiently, which is one of the key factors in shrinking belly fat that's been stubborn for years. Another powerful biological benefit of walking is improved circulation. As you get older, blood flow can slow down, leading to less oxygen and fewer nutrients reaching your muscles and organs. Walking boosts circulation gently but consistently, which helps reduce inflammation. Inflammation is directly connected to belly fat because inflamed tissues are more likely to store fat as a form of protection. When inflammation goes down, the body becomes more willing to release stored fat and operate more efficiently overall. Walking also activates the deep core muscles that support your spine and help control your posture. These muscles often weaken with age, especially if you spend a lot of time sitting. When you walk with intention, your core automatically engages to keep you balanced. This subtle engagement strengthens the muscles underneath the midsection, giving your belly a firmer, more toned appearance over time, even though you're not specifically doing abdominal exercises. The constant engagement also encourages better alignment and reduces pressure on the lower back, which many people over 60 struggle with. All of these biological responses happen without straining your joints or putting excessive stress on your body. Walking respects your physiology, supports your shifting hormones, and gives your metabolism the exact type of movement it can respond to effectively at this stage of life. When it comes to melting belly fat after 60, consistency matters far more than intensity. Impact workouts to see real change, but the truth is that the older body thrives on routines it can sustain without overwhelm. After 60, recovery takes longer, joints need more care, and stress hormones rise more easily. So intense exercise often works against your goals rather than supporting them. When you choose moderate, intentional walking every day, you give your metabolism a predictable pattern it can adjust to. Your body begins to expect movement, prepare for it, and respond more efficiently, which leads to better fat-burning ability over time. This doesn't happen in a single workout. It happens through repetition, through showing up day after day, even when the pace is gentle. With consistency, your cardiovascular system strengthens, your muscles become more engaged, and your overall energy increases, making each walk feel easier than the last. As your endurance grows, your body starts using fat as a more reliable source of energy during these walks, and this shift is what helps stubborn belly fat finally begin to move. When you rely on intensity-based workouts, your body struggles to keep up with the stress, especially if your joints are stiff or your muscles need more time to recover. This leads to skip days, longer breaks, and a cycle where motivation drops because the exercise feels too demanding. Consistency becomes impossible. But when you commit to walking every day, even at a manageable pace, you eliminate the pressure to perform. You simply build a habit, and habits are what create long-term change. The steady movement lowers cortisol, supports hormone balance, and activates the deep core muscles repeatedly, which is far more beneficial for shrinking the waistline than sporadic bursts of high-energy exercise. Each walk contributes to a compounding effect. Your metabolism adjusts, your circulation improves, and your body slowly becomes better at burning calories throughout the day, not just during your walk. The real transformation happens because consistency influences your entire lifestyle. Once you establish a daily walking routine, you naturally begin to make better choices without forcing them. You drink more water because your body asks for it. You sleep better because your nervous system becomes calmer. You find yourself moving more during the day because your muscles feel looser and your joints more comfortable. These subtle shifts all support fat loss, especially around the belly, and they happen because you've built a routine your body can trust. Over time, even a one-stubborn metabolism becomes more responsive. Your body begins to release stored fat more readily because it recognizes that you're supporting it with regular movement rather than overwhelming it with inconsistent exertion. The small, daily effort creates a momentum that intense workouts rarely offer, because intensity demands more than the body may be ready for, while consistency invites your body to participate fully without resistance. Proper walking form plays a much bigger role in melting belly fat after 60 than most people realize, because the way you move determines which muscles are activated and how efficiently your body burns energy. When you walk with intention and correct alignment, your core becomes naturally engaged, your torso stabilizes, and your entire midsection begins working even though you're not doing traditional exercises. Many people walk with their shoulders hunched, their head tilted downward, or their steps too short and shuffling. This kind of posture shuts down the core, limits arm movement, and reduces the overall effectiveness of the walk. But when you walk tall, with your chest open and your shoulders relaxed, your body shifts into a stronger position that allows the muscles around your trunk to fire properly. A tall posture doesn't mean stiff or rigid. It means letting the spine lengthen and the rib cage lift so your lungs can fill more deeply and your core can support your movement with each step you take. Swinging your arms is another key component of proper walking form that most people overlook. When your arms swing naturally and with a little extra intention, You activate muscles in the upper back, shoulders, and torso, especially the oblique muscles that wrap around the sides of your waist. These muscles play a major role in slimming and shaping the midsection. Arm movement also increases your overall calorie burn because your upper and lower body are working together. Many people keep their arms still when they walk, which significantly reduces the metabolic impact of the exercise. The simple act of allowing your arms to move rhythmically alongside your body increases momentum, boosts blood flow, and creates a gentle rotation to the torso that helps strengthen the deep core muscles without strain. Your steps also matter. Taking very small, tentative steps can place unnecessary pressure on your knees and reduce the engagement of your glutes, hips, and lower abs. On the other hand, taking extremely long steps can pull your body out of alignment and strain your lower back. The most effective walking stride is one that feels natural but purposeful, where you roll through the entire foot with each step, heel to midfoot to toe. This rolling motion activates the legs more deeply, stabilizes the hips, and encourages the core to stay engaged throughout the walk. When your hips move freely, your stride becomes smoother, your posture improves, and your midsection gets more involved. Many people over 60 lose hip mobility over time, and walking with proper form helps restore this mobility, which further enhances your fat-burning ability. Breathing is another subtle but essential part of proper form. Deep, steady breathing signals your body to relax, which lowers cortisol levels and reduces the stress response that often leads to fat storage around the belly. Shallow breathing, which often happens when walking with poor posture, keeps your body in a mild stress state and limits oxygen flow. Proper breathing supports endurance, keeps your heart rate in the ideal fat-burning zone, and helps your core stay engaged naturally. When all these elements come together, posture, arm swing, stride, and breathing, your walk becomes more than movement. It becomes a whole-body exercise that strengthens your core, enhances circulation, improves balance, and activates the muscles around your midsection in a continuous, low-impact way. Walking with correct form ensures that every minute you spend moving counts toward your belly fat loss goals, allowing your body to work smarter. Not harder lifestyle alignment plays a huge role in how quickly and effectively belly fat melts away after 60, because your daily habits directly influence the hormones and metabolic processes that control fat storage. Even if you're walking consistently and with intention, certain habits can either support your progress